savers, those who dare. In the heartbeat of the market we declare, Hola is more than a name. It's the pulse of the trade, the trader's flame. Hola, the rhythm of the trade, where the bold and the fearless are made. From London to New York, the thrill's the same. Step into the beat of the Hola prime game. Fortune favors those who dare. In the heartbeat of the market we declare, Hola is more than a name. It's the pulse of the trade, the trader's flame. Trade. Chasing the charts under neon skies. Hola Prime's the name where the profits rise. Fingers on the keys, dreams taking flight. We trade the future, we own the night. Hola Prime, the rhythm of the trade, where the bold and the fearless are made. From London to New York, the thrill's the same. Step into the beat of the Hola Prime game. Candles dancing on the screen's bright glow. Risk and reward in the ebb and flow. Through the highs and the lows, we play this game, fueled by the fire of the Hola Prime name. Every tick, every move tells a tale. Navigating storms, we will prevail.
Well, welcome back, traders, to Quiet Markets. I hope you're having a far more profitable day than I am. It's also my birthday. That's right. It's August 27th. Your humble host is another year older, and if my trading journal is to be believed, not a single bit wiser. Let's just say my candles are starting to represent not just my age, but also my daily drawdown average. But enough about my tragicomic existence. Let's dive into the markets, because unlike my hairline, they are actually moving. I kid. I'm actually doing pretty well today. The big story that just won't quit is the ongoing political drama at the Federal Reserve, which is starting to feel less like a central banking institution and more like a season of succession. The U.S. dollar has been on a bit of a wobbly roller coaster this week, with the Dixie Index fading back to the low 98s after a brief peak above 98.8. The greenback's main antagonist continues to be President Trump's unprecedented move to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook, who, for her part, is standing her ground and saying, "You and what authority?" This whole saga is creating unabated concerns over the Fed's independence, and the market is essentially pricing in a 90% chance of a rate cut in September because, frankly, it seems like everyone in Washington just wants to get this over with. It's the kind of volatility that makes you want to hide in a safe haven, which is exactly what many traders did, given a boost to assets like the Swiss franc and, of course, gold. Speaking of safe havens, gold prices have extended their weekly recovery, flirting with the key $3,400 per troy ounce mark. The yellow metal is steady, seemingly unbothered by the world's chaos, kind of like a Zen master in a room full of screaming toddlers. The combination of a vacillating dollar and shrieking yields has provided a nice launch pad, but it needs a decisive break above that $3,400 level to really get the party started. Silver, its more volatile cousin, had a bit of a deflating day, dropping to 3-day lows before managing to claw back its way back to the $38.50 region. It is the classic high school drama. Gold is the stable, popular kid, and silver is the moody teenager trying to find itself. Over in Europe, the euro-US dollar managed a truly heroic feat of doing almost absolutely nothing ending the day nearly unchanged around the 1.163 level after shaking off some early heavy losses. The single currency is caught between a rock and a hard place, or more specifically, between a dovish tilting Fed and its own political mess. Consumer confidence in Germany is deteriorating, and all eyes are on France, where a major political crisis has the government on the brink of collapse. I read a headline that said France on the brink, which sounds less like a financial update and more like a rejected James Bond title. There's even talk of a potential IMF intervention, which is the economic equivalent of calling your parents to bail you out. Later today, Thursday, we will get some ECB's meeting accounts, which will hopefully provide more clarity than a French parliamentarian vote. Meanwhile, the British pound is showing some resilience, with the British pound US dollar flirting once again with the 1.35 barrier. It seems the pound is trying to bounce back, much like I try to bounce back from a birthday cake food coma, with determined effort but questionable sustainability. We'll get a look at UK nationwide housing prices soon to see if the foundation of this recovery is solid. Moving over to the commodity space, oil traders are enjoying a rebound after a steep sell-off, with WTI pushing back above $64 per barrel. This rebound was fueled by a larger than expected drawdown in U.S. crude inventories reported by the EIA and a slightly softer dollar. It seems refiners are gearing up for the final hurrah of the U.S. summer driving season, because nothing says end of summer like sitting in holiday traffic for 3 hours. However, the mood remains cautious as fresh trade tensions erupted, with the U.S. slapping additional tariffs on Indian goods, effectively doubling the levy to 50% as a punishment for India buying discounted Russian crude. It's the kind of geopolitical spice that can quickly turn a bullish inventory report into a bearish demand worry. And finally, let's talk about the star of the Asian session, the Australian dollar. The Aussie is on a tear, strengthening to around the 0.6505 level after some seriously hot inflation data. Australia's monthly CPI shot up to 2.8% in July, smashing expectations and basically telling the RBA, you can forget about that rate cut you were thinking about in September. This has given the Aussie dollar a real shot in the arm, proving that sometimes bad news for central bankers is good news for currency traders. It's the one currency that's actually happy about inflation, which is a mood I can only aspire to. So what's on the docket for today? Well, it's a big one. We do have the second estimate of U.S. Second quarter GDP, which is expected to show a healthy 3.1% growth rate. We do also have the usual weekly initial jobless claims and pending home sales data coming out. This data, of course, will be crucial for the Fed as it navigates this political minefield and decides on its next move. It's all leading up to the main event Friday, which is, of course, the Fed's favorite inflation gauge, the core PCE, personal consumption expenditures. So buckle up, folks. The markets might be quiet in name, but they are certainly not quiet in nature. Last thing, we'll just take a quick look at the times for the calendar. Yeah, again, we just have those two red folder events, the GDP report, which is at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, they did have a previous number of 3%, projected to go up to 3.1%. Unemployment claims is the other red folder event. Previous number, 235,000. They are expected to drop to 231,000. So that's about it from my side. Back over to you, back end.
Coach Tiger,
Coach
happy
Tony. Tony.
birthday to you. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but happy birthday.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, yeah,
Thanks, man.
absolutely. Congrats. Absolutely. Another year down in the books
Another
and
trip
another year
around
as
the
a trader.
sun.
I was going to say,
What's
it's
that?
one of those things where I said another year as a trader. It's one of those things where
Yeah.
it's just like, man, you live to fight another day. You
Yeah.
haven't quit on yourself, so something must be working
Yeah.
out. You almost had me there, where you're talking about your I don't know, your drawdown or your losses today. I was like, no way, man, no way. That does
Yeah.
not sound like Tiger.
Nah.
Yeah, that's good. You
No.
had me there. So
No. No. It's actually been a great day. Just got to get some laughs in. But
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
my trading birthday will be in January. I'll be up to age 12 at that point. So that's
Really?
my next
Okay, so
birthday. I'm
you
looking
actually can
forward.
pin it down to like the month, like when you actually started, huh?
Yeah, it was the second. It was the July or January 5th, actually, because that's when I
Yeah,
started my trading classes for Online Trading
nice,
Academy, where we
nice,
focused on the
nice.
stocks and core strategy of supply and demand.
Yeah.
Uh, Retook it in July since we had free retakes, and then January of the next year was when I started studying Forex. So I
Wow.
took a
Yeah.
Forex class and then retook that. So
Yeah. That's
12 years
awesome.
as a trader, 11 years as a currency trader.
Sure, yeah,
Age 12.
100%. That's
Age
so
12.
crazy that you actually just made the jump immediately into Forex because usually Forex comes like years after you get exposure to the market. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know, not to get into just Q&A, but like, how
Yeah.
did you actually come across finding Forex? Because I've been doing this like almost 10 years, and I still have not. I haven't done Forex trading at all.
Right. Yeah. Well, back then when I started, I, you had to have $25,000 to start a stock account. I just straight
Yeah.
up didn't have it. So
Mm-hmm.
I had started reading up on all the different asset classes and saw that you could get started for a heck of a lot cheaper with Forex. And so,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I found one firm at the time where I could get started with 2,000. So I was
Yeah.
able to swing that. So I decided
Yeah.
to take Forex classes, mainly because of price, but the deeper I dug into Forex, the more I kind of fell in love with it. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I studied and know how to trade stocks, but I love focusing on currencies because there's only a finite amount of pairs. So it's
Yeah.
easier to
Yeah.
kind of learn the behaviors and the nuances of them
Mhm.
versus what 16,000, 18,000 stocks, something like that.
Literally thousands
Whatever the
upon
number is.
thousands. Yeah, constantly
Yeah.
fluctuating all the time. Yeah, I know. They go from boom to bust. But yeah, that's great. That's crazy. That's great. You take the onus onto yourself, and here you are today, living to tell the
Yeah.
tale.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of fell in love with studying how the interbank system works. I guess that
Yeah.
might be kind of a foundation of it. I mean,
Mhm.
just learning. Yeah. I mean, it's taken a decade, but just figuring out how to piece together all the fundamental data. I mean, that took some time.
Mhm. Yeah,
Until I
sure.
finally found some software to simplify it to where I'm not having to spend 2-3 hours a day studying, or not studying, but putting all the puzzle pieces together. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that just
Awesome.
for whatever reason kind of became my infatuation, was just learning how
That's
the system
great.
works,
That's
the
great.
creation of
That's
money
awesome.
and money flow and all that. It's pretty crazy.
Literally, I know you're going up against the institutions every time you step into the market. Even
Yeah,
more so than like the futures guys, obviously. Because isn't the how like Forex is like, it's the biggest market, right? By notional dollar value traded per day, right?
right. Yeah, well, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I'm not trying to compete with the bank. I'm just trying to latch on to what they're doing. I mean, that's really what I've spent my decades studying, is the
Yeah,
footprints that they leave behind, right? I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
ain't nobody going to beat. None of us are going to beat the banks. We just have to figure out what
Mhm.
they're doing and catch on.
Yeah,
Let me turn
yeah.
my phone off. I got people
No, all
calling me
good.
still.
I was gonna say you're probably gonna get like more happy birthday messages all throughout the
Yeah,
evening.
yeah. I
Yeah.
silenced it this time.
All good. All
Yep.
good. Well, we're back. We're back again for quiet markets. I've been going back and forth between yourself and then Coach Michael. Yeah, so it's been just you two for now. But there's some other people that get on quiet markets with you guys, right?
It's mostly Paul. The last
Yeah.
3 Wednesdays has been you, and prior to that, I had Daryl on probably 2 or 3 times in your place.
Wow. Okay.
So
Nice.
it's mainly Paul, but it's kind of going between you and Daryl. It seems like so. It's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I gotcha. I gotcha.
Always good to
Yeah.
hang out with
Daryl.
a futures trader.
I know. I know. It's one of those things where it's just a little bit different on the perspective, but yeah, no, it's awesome. It's great. It's
Yeah.
I love being on and honestly like learning obviously a lot about the Forex pairs and stuff like that. So keep it coming.
Yep.
I mean, I like it. I enjoy it. And then obviously I get a little bit of a glimpse into, the Hong Kong session or the Asian session that's happening, so I can kind of figure
Mhm.
out, okay, are we continuing the decline or continuing the uptrend from obviously the US session earlier in the day, or like what the heck's going on? But yeah, I mean, there was that. I mean, I was off for about 2 hours, kind of later in the day before the futures market closed, and I saw this massive spike um, in just to the downside in Nasdaq around like what 4:20 Eastern time. Oh, was that Nvidia? That might have been Nvidia, like
Yeah,
just pummeling
probably.
pummeling the U.S. market. Yeah, I saw that slower
Yep.
sales growth. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just the AI trade is kind of continuing on,
Crazy.
a little anemic, I guess.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I think it had a 6% swing, NVIDIA, when it was
Yeah, yeah,
released. I mean, I
yeah,
know they had positive earnings, but apparently the market didn't like that it was so futile. Yeah, because it
yeah,
dropped like
literally.
crazy. It dropped right into a 1 hour demand zone. If I had a stock account, I'd have probably jumped into that trade. Back in, if you don't mind, just throw my chart up real quick. We'll take a quick look at NVIDIA and
Yeah,
see
100%.
what
Ah,
fun
see,
stuff.
that's the other thing is that like with the program that you guys get to use on the Forex side, you
Mm.
get to look at stocks, right? I can only look at um what's it called? I can only look at futures contracts. I can't pull up any
Oh,
individual names.
well, as far as the GUI trades account, yeah, here's all my currencies over
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
You come down and we start running into gold, silver, oil right here,
yeah, yeah.
euro. Yeah, France, Germany, I'm sorry, the FTSE, even Spain is on here. The Spanish account, the Spanish stock market, but yeah, the Nikkei, S&P, Nasdaq, US 30, and then some Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin. So it looks like we get three
Yep.
choices on the crypto, but yeah, really Bitcoin's really the only one I really pay that much attention to daily. I'll look at Ethereum now and then. I don't really haven't really gotten into the other coins as of yet. That's probably
Yeah.
that's kind of on my to do list along with
The
figuring
altcoins
out
or the
what. Yeah, the
SHT
alt.
coins. Yeah, yeah.
Yep, yep, yeah. I can't wait for the morning session. I'm going to be able to show Coach Michael that I actually figured something out on oil. Well, I don't want to say figured it out, but let's just say I plotted a zone out
Yeah.
that is currently working. But yeah, before I get to that, here's NVIDIA. So I had drawn up this hourly demand zone earlier, just where that we had that nice spike upward with some volume, and look at that, dropped
Yeah.
down after that news release and just pricked perfectly up from there. So the
Hmm.
buyers stepped in that demand. So it's currently up in this area. But yeah, I think I read NVIDIA tends to have like a 3% range with report releases, but it doubled it up at 6%. So yeah,
Yeah.
when you look at the numbers, I mean, they had a surprise of 4%, which sounds good, but doesn't look like the market thought the same because it
Yeah,
went
I know.
down.
I mean, that's the thing is that, I mean, I'll just look it up on Google, like NVIDIA PE multiple, right? Price to earnings ratio, 58 and a half. I thought it would be higher than that, no? But, I mean, you got to
Mhm.
justify the PE ratio, you know,
Yeah.
obviously, which leads into all the valuation stuff. And yeah, I saw a quote from I think it was a CFO, and he's like, "Yeah, we delivered like another record quarter, but we're still navigating like what continues to be a dynamic environment, which is obviously the tariffs and not doing business with China on the newer GPUs or whatever it is that they actually make." But I mean, it was pretty crazy. I think one of the things was like the data center revenue growth, which is obviously the data centers are being built out to like help with the AI, the actual AI, and like the power needs, computational power, stuff like that. So that one actually grew 56% year over year. I saw that,
Wow.
but it's probably just a lot smaller segment of the actual revenue. So whatever. Still, like
That's
$50 billion. That's crazy.
that's just crazy. Also, how they have to build their own power stations
Mm-hmm.
with everything
Yeah, I
coming
know.
in. What we need, like double
Well,
the energy. I think I heard
yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah,
all this,
yeah.
all
Sure,
these
sure. I have no
projects.
idea what they're gonna do. I mean, $4.4 trillion company. Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a whole other side of trading. I really want to start getting into is understanding all the
Mhm.
PE numbers and all that types of data. The only like when I my extent of stock trading has really been penny stock trading. I mean, the
Oh yeah,
only real
sure. I did
things
the same.
yeah, the only things I really cared about there was give me a low float stock, something with like 10 million
Yeah.
shares or less.
Yep. Easy to
A
push around.
dollar to $3 range.
Yeah.
Maybe broke the previous day's high and just
Hmm.
look where's it at above? Is it above VWAP? Is it below VWAP? I mean, obviously you never sell them,
Yep.
but just looking for them short
Hmm.
squeezes, man. That was a lot of it's a lot of fun to do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Find
I
those
know, 100%. And it's crazy how some of them can just go up like multiple hundreds of percents
300,
in a matter of
500%.
days. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Or even
yeah,
hours.
yeah.
Heck, I latched onto one that jumped 400%. I think it was, I don't even remember what it was,
Wow.
like an hour and a half or something, 2 hours.
Yeah,
That was my
yeah,
claim
yeah,
to
yeah.
fame was catching one of those. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and it's always good when you put a bunch of people like your friends and your family into it. They're like, "Oh, you're printing money. You're a money printer."
got my own ATM machine over here. Reminds me of they used to, I don't back in like the early 1900s. I was reading a book one time and it was talking about these basically snake oil salesmen, but they created a
Yeah.
money printing machine. I don't know. Did you ever
Oh
hear
my
about that story?
gosh.
Yeah,
No,
they
no,
were
no.
literally selling this gadget for hundreds
Mhm.
of dollars back in the day and
Wow.
scamming them and yeah, would
Yeah,
go to a
yeah.
different city, sell one or two, and
Hmm.
just stay on foot, keep going. They finally tracked them
Yeah.
down, but yeah, that's what that
I was gonna
reminds me of.
say, are you sure those same guys didn't just start the Federal Reserve and the U.S.
Yeah, the
Treasury?
Federal Reserve. Yeah, probably that's probably what happened.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
100%.
but yeah, me and
Speaking of the Fed devaluation of the dollar, I mean, how's gold looking nowadays? You said it was pretty unwavered, huh?
yeah, I mean, it's just been a pain in the butt since what the end of liberate, a few week or two after Liberation Day. Just been in that
Yeah, yeah,
sideways bubble. I mean, I kind of marked off a blue line above and below more, where it's kind of on average been flipping to the opposite end, which is a little bit, yeah, about the 3,200, 34 level. I'm trying to see a
sure.
close up above that. I'm just not interested in trading any of this garbage. If I have a
Oh
pick
yeah,
personally, I'm pushing gold to the side and picking silver because at least it's trending.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Silver,
that's my
hopefully,
personal.
$40 soon.
Yeah, I mean, silver. I've got a really good zone I'm watching. Silver and gold, by the way, are the strongest two items on my top setups as far as my bullish
Yeah,
list. Silver
yeah,
is actually number one, positive 13. Of
yeah.
course, five or higher is bullish, but yeah,
Mhm.
50%
What does it
fib
go all the
has.
way up to?
I've seen scores get up to 16, 17. I think this
Okay.
thing tops out at like 24.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
something
yeah,
obnoxious like that. But yeah,
yeah.
in the time I've been using it, I've seen like 16, 17, maybe once or twice. That's about
Mhm.
it.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. I got you.
yeah, silver. I
Yeah, I
mean,
think we got to break above 39.60. Is that the high like over the last couple of
uh,
months?
39.06. Yeah, it looks like
Oh, okay.
over here. Oh well, further back we had a 39.6. Yeah, you're right, 39.6
Hmm.
back here.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm just looking for a simple retracement to this 4 hour demand zone. I mean, within that, you got a 1 hour. I mean, I guess that would probably be a 30-minute demand zone. That's right. I actually
Hmm.
labeled it.
Hmm.
So that's showing me a little confluence, that little 30-minute candle. That's
Yeah.
really where I'm keeping an eye on. I've got an alert set, and it's the $38 cycle level as well. So give me a simple drop down there, and that's where I'm interested in taking along, just like I've already drawn up here. Just got to get some price. But yeah, I've got zero interest in this area, this kind of sideways junk here on the last few days
Sure.
anyway.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
No, I hear you.
discounts. But yeah, the picture's even worse on. Well, I mean, of late, gold's actually looking a little better, but you know, I mean, I do have an alert set down here still at the 33.55 area,
Yep.
33.50 area, right in the middle of that. A little bit of confluence as far as psych levels. So yeah, just updating that. Just give me a simple drop. I mean, I probably would just take one or the other if they both hit their zones around the same time. Silver all the way for me. Probably just ignore gold because gold that looks good in theory, but I actually prefer these demand zones down here a little lower. I mean that one
Sure.
formed. Let's see, Monday. So that formed. What happened? I believe. Oh, that's when Trump put out his Trump or Truth Social post, right? Firing
Hmm.
Governor
Hmm.
Cook. So that's
Yep.
that.
Yep.
That's the Truth Social candle, I call it. So yeah, maybe take a little stab, but I think I prefer some of these lower, cheaper prices down in this range, 1 hour
Yeah.
or that
Yeah.
50 million. But yeah, I think between the two, if I had to choose one or the other, it'd definitely be the silver. A little bit stronger of a rating. The big banks bought a little bit, added a little bit to their longs, whereas they didn't on gold this past
Yeah.
COT
Yeah.
report. So, but everything
Hmm.
changed. That COT report is obviously accurate as of last Tuesday. Um, Everything changed on Friday, right, with the dovish
Yeah.
tilt. So I don't really give. I told everybody on stream Sunday and Monday that I don't really give the COT report a ton of importance or credence this week, considering it was old news by the time the Fed chair started flapping his lips on
Yeah.
Friday.
Honestly.
So, but yeah, as far as really my day's trading activity, I mean, I started off on my GUI trades with a loss of $34, or no, I guess it was
Yeah.
85 and 30. But then I also jumped into a dollar Swiss short, and I'm currently up 270 on it. So obviously making up for my early birthday blues, and
Hell yes.
sold in
Yeah.
this sold in this 1 hour supply here. I like this trade so much because again, dollar Swiss is my most bearish asset I'm tracking. It's a
Hmm.
minus 13, so it's tied with dollar Japanese
Hmm.
yen as the most bearish scores. So I got in this
Yeah.
trade not only on our Hola Prime account, but I also got into it on my regular account. So on that
Nice.
account, I'm up about $1,479 so far. So looking really
Wow.
good over there.
I
Yeah,
was
a
gonna
little bit
say, yeah,
different
that's pretty good.
size on account.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, having a pretty good birthday overall. Figured,
It's good.
dug myself into a little bit of a hole in Forex
Yeah. Yeah.
fire, which was made. Well, those trades were opened up like 36 hours prior, so it's not like that was this
Sure.
morning. But no, it's been a great birthday. Threw the trade
Yeah. I was
on.
gonna say.
I think that was that during? Oh, that was right before. So that was right after we started the show this morning, 3 a.m.
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
time. And
Yep.
yeah, by the time I finished and went to bed, it was already down in this area here. So I think I woke up 2 hours later because it was on my mind. So I got on here and looked and saw we'd kind of oh come on we'd kind of formed a little bit of a pullback and a little bit of a drop with a little bit better volume. So I decided to pull my stop loss from up here down here to this above this point, or actually above this point. I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
worst case scenario on my GUI trades, it's $100. But yeah, if I get another drop below this area, little candle closed down, I may just go ahead and drop to this point here. Just kind of stair step down to some of these swing high points, and then at some point I'll step it down to here. I mean, my ultimate take profit it's really not that far away, to be honest. But what I'll
Yeah. Like
probably end
multi
up
days
doing is,
though.
yeah, I might even, if I get priced down into this area, whether on stream or shortly thereafter, then I
Hmm.
may even just kick the take profit down a little further, and I'll just tightly
Yeah, I was gonna say,
trail my
do you
stop.
ever end up like kind of letting it? I mean, depending on like why it's actually breaking, and as long as there's
Mhm.
like headlines or volume to like keep on pushing it down, do you ever trail Your take
Yeah.
profit? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I mean, my first probably 5 years of trading, I set strict 3-to-1 reward risk trades, and I just let them be. I never moved my stop losses, my take profits, none of that. And that's before I really figured out fundamental analysis. I was strictly a technical trader my first 5-6 years. And I'd get so upset. I'd get so annoyed. Like, yeah, I got a 3-to-1 profit, but it kept going. Should have been a 5-to-1. Should have been a 6-to-1, 7, 8-to-1. I
True.
had a lot of times where
Yeah,
that happened. And so I got annoyed by all the money I was leaving on the table.
yeah, I
Thanking
know.
God that I
Yeah.
made the profit, number one. But also,
Mhm.
like, well, hold on a second. I think I need to hold these trades open a little more and manage them, do a better job of actually managing my trades. And so I started making a real conscious effort to start trail stopping under, some of the swing high points, swing low points, depending on if I'm buying or selling. And yeah, sometimes it'll come back and hit my stop loss, and I could have had a much higher profit if I'd have just left it the original take profit. But there's really
Sure.
pros or cons regardless of which way you go. It's really just kind of a comfort level.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No, 100%.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
I gotcha. No, I mean it's a pretty important thing. Well, especially if like you're just sitting there on the desk, and if it's overnight and you get hit on the take profit, that's great, right? So easy
yeah,
money.
exactly. Yeah, I don't
But if you're on
complain
the
about
desk,
that. I
why
mean,
not?
I gotta sleep at some point, but yeah, if it
hmm
if it hits while I'm
hmm
asleep, then stay la vie. I'll take whatever's mine is mine, right? But
100%.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and I try not to over manage it or micromanage them too much, because you can also you can create stories in your head. Well, I better do this. I better do that. Well, if you just left
Yeah.
it alone, you'd have had a much better outcome. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a challenge either way. No, again, no right or wrong answer. It's just what everybody's comfort level is. I think it makes you a better, or it makes me a better trader anyway, doing that micromanaging, because it just kind of teaches patience and other things. So that patience has actually helped me stay out of a lot of trades, because if I'm not seeing all my pieces fall in place, then I've gotten a heck of a lot better about avoiding jumping into a trades for FOMO or for trying to anticipate the move. Well, no, let the move play out, because it's going to tell you when to close the trade out. It's going to tell you
Yeah, sure.
when to move the trade, stop loss up, trail stop, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's really what I've kind of focused on. I would say over the last half of my trading career is just working on the managing of trades, because we always hear, how to avoid losses. Well, I don't think it gets talked about enough how to manage your profits. Your trades you're in profit on.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like that's
No, I know.
yeah. Like we put so much emphasis on how to avoid the losses, but yeah, you also got to look at the other end, right? Not
Yeah,
limiting
yeah. Well,
yourself,
I mean, no, literally, you're
maximizing.
right, because it's one of those things that it's just like if you start cutting your winners off too early, then I mean, you need
Right.
that profit for the times that you lose, right? So,
Right.
yeah, it
Yeah.
always helps. I mean, yeah, you're for sure right. I mean, it's one of those things that we should talk about it more for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. As far as my other trade I had on this morning, I had the Nikkei. I had bought in, let me see, where's my little blue arrow? Way back here. So this is one I bought into 2 nights ago. And it just kind of got boring real quick. I mean, it slowly was going up. It did kind of bounce into this 1 hour supply. So I was just looking to see if we could get past that candle, which again was that Truth Social post candle. They're just the
Yeah.
opposite end for the Nikkei. It's funny how a U.S. Truth Social post can affect a market halfway around the world, right?
Yeah, I
But
know. The power of the
but I
pen,
had
it's
to
really the
respect
power of the tweet now.
it. Yeah, yeah. But I had to respect that zone because the volume spiked really hard on people selling.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
price comes back, price kind of went in, and it didn't really do a whole lot of damage. I mean, it still kind of slowly went up, but we did get a big drop just before the start of the Asian session. So I had my stop loss at that time somewhere in this area. I guess it would have been that red line. So, but all of a sudden when Tokyo opened, it spiked all the way up. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to cut this now. I'll take my measly, whatever it was, 30, 20, $22. it wasn't about the money. I just was getting tired of the trade because when I got into this Nikkei trade, it's kind of weird. So this thing was giving me a neutral rating Monday and Tuesday. It was like a 1 or a 2, something like that. And all of a sudden it jumped to a 6. So when it jumped to a 6, I thought, oh, okay, well, let's see where I'm at. Oh, I'm in a 4-hour demand zone at that time. So I went ahead and jumped in when I started to get a little bit of a push back upwards right here on this candle. And then all of a sudden it went back to neutral. It went back to like a 1 or a 2 as far as my scoring system, a fundamental report scoring system. So something was going on with my algorithm or something. But all of a sudden I was in a trade that was now technically neutral. So it wasn't giving me that bullish bias like I had. So anyway, I just thought, well, I don't want to stay in a trade that's more neutral than anything, flip of a coin. So when I saw that candle spike, I thought, okay, that's a good place to get out. Let's conserve my capital and go find something better. So I ended up getting out up here somewhere. But so yeah, made a few bucks on that. And then other than that, the euro dollar was one of my losses this morning. Let me see, or that I opened up the other day. I did like this one because it's giving me a bullish bias. So I did buy the pre Powell speech candle. So that was the 9 a.m. Central Time candle there for Friday. So yeah, I mean, everything I was watching was basically there was a demand zone formed at the start of the speech. So euro dollar just so happened to be the first asset to retrace back to that demand zone. So I ended up getting in on a buy stop order kind of above this area here on Monday. And it kind of went up. Same thing, just got kind of lazy real quick and finally did stop me out down here for a loss. So just wasn't that strong of wasn't as strong of a demand zone as it looked. I mean, I loved it. I would take this trade all over again.
Yeah, I know. But it's one of those things where it's just one of those things. It's still like, it's not like your thesis isn't really invalidated, but like you said perfectly, like the market's just getting lazy. So it's one of those things that, if you had waited or if you didn't have like, so I don't want to say so tight of a stop loss because it was just a stop loss. It looks like, it was an appropriate stop loss. Then you would have essentially just gotten lucky, that the market did go up. You'd be in a
because when I see price going, no, you're 100% right. I mean, I say it all the time. For me, if it's a good supply or demand zone, I want to see price react immediately. I don't want to see this lollygagging back and forth like this. Because is it really that strong to begin with? Obviously not. Otherwise, it would have shot up to the nearest supply zone, which is what I had drawn up there. My magnets didn't help me out, so I can go ahead and delete you.
I was going to say, punks. Did you put those on there? Or Paul actually does a lot of that stuff on the chart. It's so funny.
Yeah, we've started dressing them up. I got all kinds of pictures on my other charts. But yeah, it just got lazy. It moved up about a 1-to-1, and I was actually set to, because this was my 1-to-1 right here. I was waiting for an hour close above this price, and I never got it. And then I was going to move my stop loss to break even. So I was real close to, moving it to a break even, but nevertheless, small loss, no big deal.
Yeah.
Move on to the next one. And then I got into pound dollar for like not even 5 minutes, because when I got into this trade, I was actually kind of slightly breaking my rules. I only had a score of a 4 on pound dollar, but I was trying to take a stab because euro dollar, pound dollar, they tend to kind of move in the same direction. I thought at least one of these has got to run with the pre-Powell speech demand zone. I was looking at this one on a 30-minute, I think. Or no, 30-minute, 15. Sometimes the candles look different from platform to platform, right? So on my other platform, it was actually colored in as a 30-minute demand. But nevertheless, I took a second chance trade at selling the dollar, buying one of the either the pound or the euro, currencies, and that one would have worked out pretty nice had I had a good enough stop loss. I don't know. I may have gotten stopped out. It just depends. Depended on what side of the bed I woke up on this morning, which was a good side, right? Good side. It's my birthday.
Yeah, it's birthday.
So anyway, I got in that trade for like not even 5 minutes, but that's when my dollar Swiss franc alert had hit, and I don't like to double up my risk on any one currency, so I just immediately closed this because it wasn't giving me that strong of a bullish rating. But on the other side, the dollar Swiss is my strongest bearish. So opened up
Sure.
the dollar Swiss trade, and I'm glad I made that choice because it's paying nicely. So it's looking pretty good.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
But
100%.
yeah, but yeah, that's kind of where I sit at the moment as far as my trades.
Nice.
What about yourself, man? Did you make 10,000 today? 15,000? 20,000?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. I know. I think the hurdle's pretty large for me now, right?
Yeah.
No, actually, I quit that. I jumped into a couple of Hola Prime direct accounts. Do you guys have like the same setup on the Forex side? Is it like a Prime Challenge or direct with the account tiers?
Yeah, I
Or
don't
is it
know.
like a
I
one
don't. I
step
don't
type
really
thing?
know.
No.
Yeah, I'm not quite certain how that all works. To be honest with you, I need to get
Yeah.
it. I need to
Yeah.
get my own account. I've obviously had an account from well before Hola Prime. I've been kind of focusing on, which is that other account I was talking about. But no, I need to get
Yeah.
into. I need to get my own account. You got to be your own best
Yeah.
customer, right?
I
So
know, honestly.
yeah, I got to get one of those started. So
No,
I got to
man.
learn that part of the business. Sorry.
No. It's good, dude. I mean, I'm actually looking right now, and yeah, it looks like they got for anyone else that's looking at some of the account options for the Forex side. Yeah, they have the Prime accounts, which is like a one-step challenge account. Then they have Pro, and then they have Direct for anyone that doesn't want to kind of go through the challenges, and they kind of just want to, get 30-1 leverage, 90%, but it says profit split up to 95%. So that's pretty cool. We don't have
Woo.
that on the future side. We only have like the Prime, the one step challenge, and then the direct account. So that's the thing, right? You pay the fee, you get the account, and obviously, like it's like there's skin in the game. There's money to lose here. So that's what I've been doing
Heck yeah.
lately. And yeah, there's a consistency rule with Hola Prime.
Mhm.
So that's always one thing that you got to kind of watch out for, right? You can't have those like $10,000 day and then like a $1,000
Oh,
day
sure. Yeah.
because because of the consistency rules and whatnot. So yeah, I've been taking it easy, like kind of like $1,200 a day. I think that's kind of been like my average, and just trying to build
Mhm.
it up. So actually, tomorrow after the Forex fire, um, I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna be on with the futures guys doing the futures takeoff session, and we hope to do. I hope to pass this account live because I
Oh,
think I'm like
nice.
$400. Yeah, I'm like $400 away from like the payout. So yeah, we'll
Yeah.
be definitely trying to take a trade and make a little bit of money, maybe a lot. But yeah, we'll do like the payout live. Like I was like, why not? Right? Like let's just try to
Yeah.
show everybody like
Well,
how it's real. You can get a real payout here.
well, the pressure's on.
So
I'll be on. I'll be on
yeah.
watching like a hawk. Good deal. Good
Yeah, we'll
deal.
see. We'll see what we can't get out. But I also wanted to double check.
Otra.
Like, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say in the chat, Otra Maximus Prosecco. Coach Tony, where the heck were you at in futures today? Yeah, you
Oh
kind
yeah.
of talked about it.
Yeah. I know. I was gonna say I was a couple days off. Monday through Wednesday off, and they had some other. We have a new futures trader. Her name is Adelina, and she was
Mhm.
on yesterday and today. And she's kind of ramping up with a couple of things. She definitely trades. She trades the Dow, so US 30 for anyone out there that also trades the Dow, which is good because I've never touched the Dow. I've never touched the Dow. I've never
Oh,
touched
okay.
the Russell. I'm like I used to do ES, S&P 500. Now I'm like strictly Nasdaq, silver, and like occasionally crude oil when I see it. And I was just looking at crude oil and
Yeah.
kind of on like the 1 hour, and it seems like it's just like in the middle of no man's land. Um,
Yeah.
so like I probably
That's
won't be touching that for a bit.
yeah. That's what I was looking at earlier. This is what I was starting to say earlier. I can't wait to brag to Coach Michael that actually picked a zone that it looks like is trying to work out. This 15-minute
Yeah,
supply. I mean, it's kind of slow down
yeah,
now, but I drew what time? Let's see here. Yesterday morning's session, I drew up my projection, and I got that pretty close. I got to say, because I drew it down here before all this had formed, and it just kind of followed closely. kind of tailing off
Yeah.
now that I say that, the Asian session, but
Yeah, I know.
but
It's got to pick. It doesn't know which one it wants to do. It doesn't know if it wants to reward you on your birthday or not, but it is
yeah,
what it is. I
it
mean,
did.
yeah, it's probably going to be headline driven. I mean, obviously it had to
Yeah,
digest the stockpiles that came out earlier today. So,
yeah.
whatever. I
Well,
mean,
and
but it just seems like it's in the
that's
middle of
actually
nowhere.
yeah. Well, that's what I did live on stream this morning. Was I actually got onto DeepSeek. I'm like, how the hell do I trade oil? I just asked it point blank, and it was because I said supply and demand zones. Like I put the setups on there, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't ever get to those zones. It just does some funky stuff. And Coach Michael
I know.
echoes the
Yeah.
same sentiment. He just trades it a little
Yeah.
bit different. He trades accumulation
Yeah.
distribution much like I do. He just has more of a mechanical way of getting in and out of his trades. So he's
Sure.
all
Yeah.
he and I both echoed the same thing. We're always setting up setups, but they never go into fruition. So it basically said exactly what you just said. Crude oil is a lot more headline driven, obviously, focused hardcore on OPEC plus and the inventories and the bigger round numbers, the $65, the $70,
I know. I
75, et
know.
cetera, et cetera.
I know. We might as well
So
trade it with
instead,
like star signs or some sort of sundial or something, or just on feeling. I guess I don't know.
yeah, I guess so. I was just looking to see here. Yeah, because I actually found it here. Trading oil. Here we go. And it actually
Oh
laughed.
my God,
It
it's
kind of
got a
laughed
white
at me
paper for
too.
you.
Yeah. I said, "What's the best?" Well, I put the wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking gold in my head, so ignore that. But I said, "What's the
Yeah.
best way to trade oil?" I try finding supply and demand zone bounces, but they never seem to set up. What's the secret sauce to trading this elusive asset? LOL. And then it started to talk about gold because for some stupid reason I had gold in my head. So I came down and said,
Yeah.
"I'm sorry, I didn't mean XAU USD. I meant WTI or oil." So
Mm-hmm.
basically,
Yeah.
it replied, uh, uh, "Here's what it said: They don't care. The big banks. They don't care about your neatly drawn zones on a retail chart."
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Unfortunately.
no
Yeah.
crap. Thanks for crapping all over my style. But that's when it said news is king. So our oil is the
Yeah.
most sensitive major asset,
Yeah.
unexpected OPEC inventory, blah, blah, blah. Hurricanes obviously move it. But then it said false breakouts are the norm. Oil loves running stops. And then somewhere down here it said, right here, key psychological levels. So that's pretty much what I gathered is I'm only going to pay attention to supply and demand zones around those higher numbers or those round numbers. If I get something at $82, $83, I'm probably just going to ignore it. I'll just
Yeah.
stick around
Yeah.
with it 80, 75, 70. Because it actually
Sure.
said, and then of course identifying the trend on some higher time frames. So I typically do daily, but it even goes so far as to say daily and weekly. So, but at the end, it kind of made up to me because it says putting it all together, I can use my zones. Just do it at those higher
Yeah.
time, or
Yeah.
those higher,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
those
I know.
higher.
It's always one of those things. It's
It
like,
was
okay,
it
I'm
was
gonna go
sucking
to
up.
the daily chart, I guess. Like, and I'll have a
Yes.
$3,000 delta per contract. Like, it's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So I thought
like I
that was
said, even so, I was because obviously you're looking at supply and demand zones a lot, and I told you before I have this trading view pine script supply and demand that I used to
yeah.
use, and it worked out really well a majority of the time for silver and gold.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, what time frame should I be looking at on the crude oil chart? And I was just like 1 hour, and that's what I was looking at. It's just like in between these two zones. So, I mean, I guess I'm not going to be touching it, but I definitely set some alerts for, both the high end and the short end. But I think it's just going to be mainly just headline driven. It's just going to wait for that next headline, especially because the Russia-Ukraine thing is kind of really up in the air right now. Iran-Israel
Yeah.
is, I guess, done with for now until, of course, things pop off. So, yeah, I mean, it's always just waiting for the next headline. And
Yeah.
that can be so tough to trade because you can just be caught off sides if you don't have a stop loss, actually, an appropriate stop loss put on for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, again, won't be
Yeah.
holding it overnight, won't be holding it into a weekend. So if there's an opportunity that presents and I'm on the desk, then I'll definitely take it.
Yeah, no, good stuff. But yeah, just
Yeah.
updating my top setups. I mean, that's pretty much my list right there. Silver, gold at the top, 13 and 12.
Yeah.
And then yeah, that euro dollar that took a few bucks from me. I'll try to pay it a visit back tomorrow. See if I can get my money back. Michael's been talking
So
all week
because
about
the
getting his money
score
back.
though is like because the score's a
What's that?
5, like because the score's a 5, is it generally like you don't see well, I mean you got US dollar JPY -13. So like
Yeah.
so because the score is a
So I
5,
take
like that's not extreme sentiment though, you know?
no, that's
So would you
just
ever like stay
basically adding
away if it
together.
was like a 4 or something?
If I have a thin list, like this is a pretty robust list right now. I got plenty of
Mhm.
options, but like the last week or so, it's been about half this size just because
Mhm.
of everybody kind of tightening up before Chair Powell, speaking.
Yeah, yeah.
It just
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
kind of went back to a little bit more of the middle, a little more neutral. I just take all the neutral items out of here. I only care about the actionable ones. So yeah, if I've got
Yeah.
a very thin list, something like 7 or 8 assets giving me a bullish or bearish reading, I'll occasionally look at a 4 or a 3 if I feel like the zone, the demand zone or supply zone I'm looking to trade is pretty dang strong. So uh, I don't like to do that though because I really like the cheat code, man. I like the higher scores the better. I mean, obviously the blue
Yeah.
is where those reports beat expectations. The red's where they missed expectations. So I try to look at all that COT report, retail trading positions. I don't pay too much attention to the middle part because that's the technicals. I mean, I look at the trend myself on a chart, but yeah,
Yeah.
obviously all the fundamental reports. I just try to get as many of those variables in my favor first, and if I got a really strong score, yeah, I just simply go time it on a chart with a zone,
Yeah.
supply
Yeah.
demand zones. Really,
Yeah,
as
literally.
simple as that. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's silver and gold. Yeah, I'm already in a dollar trade, so I'm basically going to ignore all the dollar pairs for now. So that
Mhm.
basically
Mhm.
leaves me left with maybe euro. I don't know, maybe a Canada Japanese yen as a sell, maybe a euro Jap. I was keeping an eye on oil because I did find a 4-hour supply zone on there. Just going back to that real quick. So I do have this kind of 4-hour zone above. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I've got an alert set there. It's a ways away, in all fairness,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
higher time frame option, but then I also had the lower time frame option, but that's also when I was asleep, fast asleep.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Nothing you can do.
yeah. The trading gods
Yeah.
pick on me. They like to hit my
I know.
zones when I'm snoozing,
Right. Yeah. 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 I hear you.
and
Looks like
when I woke up,
Coach
prices
Paul's
down
in the
really.
chat for a second. He says
Coach P.
Tony's going to be a good session. Good session for us tomorrow. Yeah. Hopefully, post Nvidia earnings should be very
Yeah,
volatile for sure, especially
that's right.
if it begins to
We're gonna
rally
watch him
again.
get
Who
his payout,
knows?
Paul.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put
Hopefully,
some
we'll get a
extra
payout
stress on.
tomorrow. Yeah. 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 I'm gonna love it. Love it. And
That's
then yeah,
awesome.
Ultra
Maybe
Maximus.
that'll be my
We will get
project.
short.
Maybe that'll be my
What's
project
that?
next week. Get started on that for the
Yeah.
Forex.
Yeah. Why not? Right. It's we're always on the desk, so might as well get paid
Yeah,
to be here for
yeah,
sure. Let's see. Will we
yeah.
get
No,
short
absolutely.
NQ tomorrow? Yeah, we'll probably. I mean, I don't know. Ultra Maximus. We're probably gonna get short. Maybe not. We'll see if we find some levels overnight, and if it continues to go down, whatever, we'll come on and play that opening range. If not, we'll always find a trade for sure. And yeah,
Yeah.
Paul, tomorrow's going to be a good session for sure. We'll see if we can't get
Good
that
deal.
payout. We're a couple $100 away, so we're either going to size up and make an extra $1,500 to add to the payout, or we're just going to like be anemic and make like 350, and it'll be largely boring. But yeah, for
Still not
sure.
horrible.
Yeah. And then I know Coach Tiger. I mean, like, dude, don't keep yourself awake. I don't want you to stress out trying to wait around for me to catch a profitable trade, man. I actually don't
Oh,
take trades until literally 9:45, so 15 minutes into the equity open. So
Yeah.
if you mark your calendar.
No, I'm actually getting ready to start a workout. I use DeepSeek to help me figure out my life because with my crazy, with my crazy streaming hours and my crazy sleep hours, I was just asking, hey, what's the best way to do this? I'm trying to incorporate my workouts again. What's the best time? After stream, before this stream, what? So, I think I've got a pretty good plan written up, but it basically consists of sleep like 10 to 5, and then obviously take my 2-hour nap between this session and the morning session. And then I'm going to do my workouts after I wake up from my core sleep, what it called my core sleep at 5 o'clock. So, or 3 o'clock. I'm sorry. 3. Yeah. That's what it called.
Crazy. I mean, it's literally an AI assistant. It'll help you plan anything. So yeah, you like to use DeepSeek over the Chat GPT, huh?
I love it. I do, just because, I mean, I think Chat GPT is getting quicker, but I was kind of comparing them early on when DeepSeek came out. Of course, you had everybody complaining about it, this and that. I thought, I'm a rebel. Let's go check that out. What could possibly be so bad? So anyway, I was kind of typing in the same questions to both at the same time and hitting enter at the same time, and I realized at the time DeepSeek was a heck of a lot quicker. Quicker. So I just started using DeepSeek because of the simple speed of it. It just seemed like it was giving me quicker answers.
Yeah,
but
I'm in the
Chat
same boat
GPT,
as you. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not just me getting kicked out of the country, right? When they figure out.
No, I know. Yeah. Chinese, the CCP are behind, whatever. It's like, okay. Well, they're also probably reading the data feed from your freaking router to wherever you're sending it. So like, if they really want, info on Coach Tiger, they're gonna freaking get it. All right. So like, who gives a shit? Whatever. I was actually doing the same thing, and I was using it for some pretty hefty stuff. And I mean, I was doing the paid for service, like the premium service, and it's like $25 a month. And I would still get like these like roadblocks. Like it'd be like 11 o'clock Eastern time. I put something in there, and it's just like, I don't know. Like it would say like, the server's busy right now. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? The server is busy. Like I'm out here paying you guys, for this service. So I was just kind of unhappy, and then I went to DeepSeek, and I found that DeepSeek could literally do the stuff that I was asking, and it's free. It's
free. Exactly.
Yeah. It was just so ridiculous. So, and I'm not giving it any personal information. Like, hey, here's my social security number, and this is my address, and here's my credit card information. Like, so it's meaningless. It's just like meaningless small bits of data that you're a human being. They could have put an AI bot to track your every single move before you even made the decision. So it's just whatever. It is what it is.
So Chad, or Coach Paul, if Coach Tony and I go missing, it's China's fault, or the U.S. kicking us out, right? For going to China. So okay, good deal. But let me see. Just looking back over at my list. So as far as buying goes, silver and gold. So let's see what we got. I think we already kind of went over that briefly. Got a couple alerts set on gold. This is that 30-minute demand. Silver, I already went over that. Let's see what else I got on my list here. Pound Canada, I didn't have anything on there. I just looked. Euro dollar, pound dollar, those already touched my zones this morning. I ignored them. New Zealand dollar. This one ran off without me because I was busy paying attention to dollar Swiss, which, again, I had to take one or the other. So New Zealand dollar came down and touched perfectly. I guess that would have been, what time did that hit? Okay, so that hit shortly after I got in dollar Swiss. So I couldn't have went wrong either way, whether I sold dollar Swiss or bought New Zealand dollars. So they both worked out perfect. I mean, that's two that respected the pre-speech candle. I mean, I just barely did that. Even that might have missed it actually. No, it didn't. That zone was so strong it literally bounced off of it to the 0.00 pipette. So that was nice. I like saying pipette.
They were waiting.
That's one of the terms. Yeah, it's one of those terms we learned in the academy, but I've never used it till this stream started.
Going down to the micro.
The only other. Yep, that's it. Canada Japanese yen, Euro Japanese yen. Those are a couple sell items or sell opportunities. Yeah, I was kind of watching this CAD Jap. It did bounce into a 1 hour supply, and I had a anchored VWAP line actually come right straight through it, but I just didn't care for the volume once it got in here when I started looking at the smaller time frames. And also on a 15-minute, you kind of had a little bit of a demand right here on a smaller time frame. So I was just afraid it would cause some bouncing, and that's surely what it did, just off of this demand candle here. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to mess around.
Set the stop above the zone. No.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I just I don't know. I wanted to see stronger volume come in than that. I'm just real picky with volume, and that was hard not to get in. Trust me, that was real hard to not get into. And I still may. I mean, I may change my mind. I mean, I really like the fact that on a 4 hour time frame, it's up at the top of the curve. I mean, here's a swing high, swing low. Everything's telling me to get in this trade, and I still may. But if it was a strong zone, I would have thought that price would have not been messing around and slowly chewing through it. I would have wanted to see price drop immediately. I just didn't see it.
Yeah. Well, if it rejects, I mean, you'll still have time.
Yeah. I mean, I could potentially look at this as now a 15-minute supply within the higher time frame supply and maybe take a short. Let me think about this for a second. I'd be selling pretty high up on the curve. Good premium. Didn't really like the volume, though, on this leg out candle. That's the only downfall. I get picky with these zones, I tell you. It's kind of like a curse. You know what I mean? I've seen 100,000 supply and demand zones in almost 12 years. So sometimes the gut, man, everything about this trade was perfect pretty close to perfect on paper, but something in my gut just told me not to do it. I mean, it's a -8. I don't know. Sometimes I can't explain it, man. I don't know if you have the same thing. You ever have a setup that looks so perfect, but at the end of the day, your gut tells 100%. You maybe not.
Literally. I mean, it's usually some of those trades that it's just like stay away, and you're like, all right, okay.
Yep. Okay, gut, as you say. But part of it was that because I did see that 15-minute demand, and although it wasn't a super strong volume coming out of it, I mean, I knew it would be doing this sideways chop, and you give something sideways chop long enough after a lower term swing up, then it very well could just continue that trend up. So
I
don't know. That's tough to really explain. I just left it up to my gut. But the more I look at it, the more I love it. But yeah, it's at this point spent 24 hours in that sideways range. So we'll see. If I get any type of like strong volume down, maybe. All these stronger volume candles have been on this green candle upward. This one was a little less on the down move. So I just kind of was looking at effort versus result, right? Wyckoff Theory 101. It just wasn't quite matching up with the way I wanted to see it, though.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. My gut just left it up to my gut. My gut said not yet. So we'll see. CAD Swiss. What else did I have? I think I only had like one or two other possible trade setups. Euro Japanese yen, Euro pound. Euro Japanese, Euro pound. Okay, so it looks like, what have I got up there? 1 hour.
Perfect.
So 1 hour supply. Potentially. Need to put an alert there. Get me an alert there to see what happens when price gets up there. I'll just throw it out through end of the trading week. Let's see. What can I criticize on this supply zone? Well, I don't like that there's a lot of candles to the left. I like there to be just like a few candles because that potentially means a lot of times the unfilled orders that may or may not be there could be getting chewed up. But at the end of the day, supply exceeded demand. We had a strong drop in price. We also had a decline in volume. So that's kind of against what I like to see. That's effort not meeting. That's effort not matching result. So if that was rising volume, that would be a better picture to me. But besides that, I love this retail chop zone, creating liquidity below, creating liquidity above. So perhaps we could still see price banks push it up, collect the liquidity, collect unfilled orders, and drop it down like that. So that's something I'll keep an eye out. If price gets back, give me a nice bearish engulfing candle, maybe a VSA candle that's 2, 3, 4 times higher. Might still take a look at it. Might take a look at selling that thing. High in the curve, okay? Top third of this swing low, swing high. Red means diddling in the middle, so definitely ain't interested in trading in that area. But that's might be a good premium spot. All right, there we go. That's probably one of my top 2 or 3 setups. And then lastly, my friend, Euro Pound. Yeah, Euro Pound. Looks like a 2-headed monster. Got a couple shoulders, got a couple heads, got another shoulder over here. Does that mean we're going to go down from here? Yeah, it's ugly. Ugly mug. Let's go back over here. So looks like I drew up a projection line of some type. Oh, that was just telling me I wanted to see price break this low. That's what this red line is. I'm just going to get that out of my way. Let's see. Can I sell in premium up here? Let's find a zone. Maybe could use this as a supply, except again, look to the left. There's a lot of congestion. But, even if I'm not going to take a zone, I still like to at least set an alert just to watch and study price when it gets back. Because I tell you what, just that one thing for me personally, not sure if it'd help anybody else, but it helped me. That has taught me so much about being patient by setting an alert ahead of a zone that I find some fault with, and I don't specifically like the idea of trading it, but I still want to learn what happens if and when price comes back. And just kind of watch, just kind of learn. Price starts coming in. Am I getting some super strong volume spikes to the downside? Okay, if so, great. Maybe I'll take like a half a position trade on that. I wouldn't be interested in putting in a full position. Or, because the nearest other zones are way too high to even fool with or worry about. Euro Pound is also a slow-moving currency pair. It only averages about 40 pips of movement a day. Moves like molasses, but I used to criticize these slower ones a lot, but Euro Pound's actually paid me quite nicely a few times of late, so I can't really criticize the slow ones anymore like I used to.
I know it is one of those things that you just gotta play it where it lays, as they say.
Yep, that's right. That's right. You gotta pay to play. You gotta pay to win. I think that's all the setups I'm looking at the moment, my friend. What do you think? You got anything on your end you want to show? Or?
Yeah, for sure. We can take a look at mine.
All right.
Anytime here. Sounds
good. I'm just going to keep monitoring my dollar Swissy short. And see if I can drop my stop loss here at some point this tonight. Lock in a few more gains. On my birthday. Give me my birthday money.
I know it is one of those things where you got to have a good day today, right?
Yeah, it's a great day by default. It's just like Fridays.
Yeah.
That's first.
Yeah, 100%.
One of the first things I say in the Friday morning news and everything. Friday morning. Great day by default.
For sure. Yeah, back end, anytime you want to switch over to my screen, it's totally fine. It's just a couple of things that I'm looking at. Silver, actually, we're going through a contract change. Totally forgot about that. The September contract is expiring. We're going into the December contract for silver, so that's probably having a little bit of effect on some of the things. Obviously, over like the last 2 days, contract rolling and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be definitely watching that, especially into tomorrow, to see if if there is parity again between like the NASDAQ and silver markets, because it just seems like there has been over like the last year or so. And hopefully, I mean, if the NASDAQ can rebound a little bit after those pretty good NVIDIA earnings, I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was just
Mhm.
like deceleration of growth. Then maybe we'll see $40 silver sooner rather than later. It could happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, NASDAQ, let me see if I can see the actual executions, show chart executions on the NASDAQ that I had earlier today. Hang on here. Go. So yeah, I mean, it was one of those things. Actually, yeah, I do remember this. I actually got short before um, before was my time because I usually don't take a trade until after 9:45. But I saw that
Hmm.
the Nasdaq was kind of starting to get some momentum to the downside to make new 15-minute opening range lows, and I just ended up piling on, looking for that directional momentum move, and I got it. And I think I netted like $1,200 or $1,100 in this trade. But then it totally just bounced right off, recovered, and I guess that's what the day. That's kind of all she wrote for the rest of the day until that 420 candle, which is when the Nvidia earnings came out. It just
Yeah.
dumped City to the downside, but it's still it looks like it only went two, maybe three standard deviations from that opening range to the downside. So not terrible. And then it's just kind of sideways, and then slightly higher. We'll see what the Hong Kong session yields for U.S. equities. Maybe people are going to be buying on this dip. I mean, I'm sure that people are going to be buying on this dip. Why not, right? I mean, still
Hmm.
$4 trillion company, and they're having great growth, but it's just not as much
Yeah.
as I guess what Wall Street wanted. But like, what do these guys
Yeah.
honestly expect? These equity analysts
I don't know.
that are
They're
actually
getting
looking
greedy.
over. Yeah, I mean,
Feel
I would
like,
say that they're 100% greedy as it is right now because um, yeah, because I mean they still publish sell side analyst reports on a $4.4 trillion company saying that it's still a buy, and it's like, wow. Then what is it going to be? The first $10 trillion company, first $5 trillion company, probably.
right.
But I digress. Like, if
What's
there are problems with Nvidia, then I guess there's going to be problems with a lot of these, like a lot of the different facets of the U.S. market. So I guess it's too
um
big to fail for sure. People love to talk about that, but it's a monopoly that the U.S. government is kind of just allowed to grow and grow and grow. And this is kind of the repercussions. I mean, I'd be interested to find out. Let's see how much of
is the
the
CEO
market.
CEO
No,
first
no, not.
trillionaire?
Yeah, I know, right? No, I think that he was kind of selling stock prematurely as the thing was rising because they had a really hard time starting out. Um, how much of the market? It's a great question for DeepSeek. Is
Yeah.
Nvidia? Let's see here. Let's see
Yeah, that's what.
DeepSeek.
Yeah, I heard that most of the
Oh
market
my,
was moving on those top three or four AI stocks.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know how true or false that is, but it kind of makes sense of late. The darlings running
yeah,
the show.
yeah. Oh wow! It only says that Nvidia's share. It says it's huge, and it's roughly 5% of the global semiconductor revenues. No, I want to know how much of the.
Yeah, that is a great question. Hmm.
I mean, Mag 7 is like. I mean, it must be like 40% of the market, right? So Nvidia must be 8% of that.
Yeah,
Like, just totally unbelievable. Oh my god.
yeah,
So yeah, now it's of course like writing me an entire summary and of the different market
Yeah.
segments and how much of it is AMD, Intel, Samsung, all that type of stuff. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh wow, the weighting. Yeah, the weighting is actually 6.5% of the S&P 500.
Six
So
and a half.
insane.
Hmm.
Yeah, 6.5. Well, this is as of
That's crazy.
May 2024. As of May 2024.
Oh,
So,
lots changed
and
since
of the
then.
Nasdaq, yeah, I know. I was gonna say of the Nasdaq is 9.5%. So, damn, unbelievable. And that's the other thing is that these weightings, like the ETF weightings, the index weightings, as they are composed of the market, it's just like we gotta like reweight some of these stocks. And that's when you hear like some of the investors out there talk about how value investing versus like just buying the Mag 7 AI stocks is potentially going to come back. Value stocks are going to outperform the broader market. I've seen so
Mm-hmm.
many different papers on how that'll just like never happen ever again because of the essentially the ETF flows and how when you purchase like one share of SPY, VU, Triple Q, any of those index ETFs, the money just essentially flows to the Mag 7. Amazon, Netflix,
Yeah.
uh, Tesla, Nvidia,
Wow.
all those, Apple. So it'll just never happen because of the powers that be and the way that everything is just like set up. So we'll see. Going back to Ultra Maximus's comment in chat, are we going to get short Nasdaq tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe, maybe if things continue to the downside. But I think that the market also had to digest a lot of
Yeah.
corporate earnings over the last month, and then of course, like the big guys, right? Just to see what's kind of going on in the market or with the AI trade, not in the market, because Nvidia is not a good litmus test as to what's actually happening in the real economy, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Agreed. Yeah, they kind of
yeah.
have a
So
monopoly on it.
yeah, I mean they really do. I mean it's just so freaking terrible. It's so
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah. So I mean I think better one is to look at is probably Walmart and Costco, and it seems as though like yeah
Oh,
the
for sure.
consumer is still not in a great place and inflation is consistently hitting any of these major retailers, pick one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just something that we all need to, I guess, swallow, and I really don't know
Nope.
what the heck Trump's kind of doing with the tariff. I mean, not with the tariffs, but with the inflation side. Like, I really don't know. Like, are we going to get massive tax cuts or
Mm-hmm.
are we going to use some of that tariff money? Like that was the other thing when he first got in, and Elon was doing the whole Doge thing, and they were saving tens of billions of dollars, maybe 100 billion or something. I don't even know what the figure was. And they were talking about how we're going to potentially have like a one-off like tax credit back to the American people. It's like, what the hell happened with
Oh
that?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard him comment on it two or three times, and he sounds like he's
Yeah.
all in for it. But
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he's just
Yeah.
leaving it to the Treasury and all them. So I don't think he's
Yeah.
trying to get
Yeah.
involved. Maybe he should. Maybe he shouldn't. I don't know. But
No, I know,
I
but
don't
that's
know.
like the other thing that just like it's so weird to me because like he has no problem being involved in anything, like he's involved with the
Yeah, I
freaking
know.
Federal Reserve, like like
I
come
mean,
on, throw your weight.
he's probably torn. He's probably torn right down the middle because obviously he wants to give
Right.
give the American people relief, but at the same
Yeah.
time, his promise
Mhm.
was take the money that we make from tariffs and this and that and go towards the deficit or the debt, right? The
Yeah.
debt. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the debt that we owe back. So I think he's just torn down the middle from that because I'm hearing people on both sides, on both MAGA, on Democrat side, Republican side, independents. You got people on both sides of all the parties saying, well, we should do
Yeah.
this. No, we should do this. So he's probably just stuck and torn right down the middle. He's probably just saying, to heck with it. let the Treasury Department figure that out. I got to focus
Yeah.
on
Right.
solving war.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I know.
yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I'm kind of surprised, too, that he hasn't really pushed the issue one way or the other because, yeah, you listen to him just comment. He's saying all the right things. well, yeah, I think we should give the people a little bit of relief, a little bit of a stimulus. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the actions are kind of not doing that. They're just going towards everything else. He's got 9 trillion things on his plate. Not probably
Oh, I
not
know, literally.
just like oh my gosh, Secretary of State Rubio. I was watching part of that conference, the cabinet meeting yesterday, and he was talking about Labor Day coming up. He said, "Yeah, I'm looking extra forward to it since I have 4 jobs." And everybody in the meeting started. But it's just comical watching that. You know, those things used to be 30 minutes, hour long, if that. Trump comes in, then they started going to an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. Now that's 3 hours and 15 minutes was yesterday's meeting. Normally, I'll fit that whole thing in the day it comes out and watch it, but I only was able to get through half of it before my stream started because I had some things I had to do yesterday. So, yeah, I ended up missing the second half. But it's just cool. I like watching it. I mean, it's probably boring to most people, but it's really cool to see how all the departments kind of tackle things and how they work together on this and that. I don't know. For some stupid reason, I find it infatuating. But
that's great.
Yeah, I couldn't make it through.
That's good. I mean, people need to understand like what the heck's actually going on in the government, you know, and like it's great. It's great transparency into like what's actually happening in the White House, like daily, you know, because obviously in the previous administration, like we had no idea. Like there were no press conferences, like no questions after, you know, they had speeches and stuff. It's just like walk off, like it was ridiculous. So, I mean, all in all, yes, I know it's very good.
Well, maybe that's why the infatuation is so strong because we didn't see that the prior administration. But it's just cool to see that transparency and just see how everything works together. It's pretty cool, and then it helps a lot in trading. I mean, just seeing what you know what they're talking about with this and that issue, and it does help in the trading. I mean, I tell people all the time I never gave a crap about politics prior to trading, but after you get into trading, you kind of have to pay attention to it. You kind of have to know what the presidents and the prime ministers and the premiers are all flapping their lips about because it moves everything. So when you get a front row seat to everybody that's important, quote unquote, right, in the political world of the country flapping their lips, it's just nice to hear all the pertinent information straight from the horse's mouth. So
I know that is always like the biggest thing. It's just again, like understanding like how this stuff actually works and why the decisions are being made, you know, the way that they are, which is good, which is all good. So, I mean, other than that, it's like, you know, I mean, there's really not much else to look at. Like, you know, crude oil, like I said, it's kind of floundering here, I guess, deciding what it wants to do. I'm not sure if there's any contract roll happening in the next couple of days for crude oil, but silver most definitely, and it looks like it's just like straight up and to the right, up almost $1 since the equity close. Oh no, not $1, sorry, like 40 cents since the close of the equity market earlier today. So we'll continue to monitor like what the heck happens with that, but I wouldn't be taking a short anytime soon, and I don't think Coach Tiger would be taking a short anytime soon, especially when it's pinning like such a bullish sentiment on your chart.
All right. Yeah. No, that's true.
I mean, I'd like to see $40. Like, seriously, break $40, go up to like freaking 50 would be amazing. Like, that'd be so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. No, we'll see.
Yeah, I just can't do it, man. I just can't do the breakouts. I gotta have it bounce. I've tried my hand at breakout trades, but it seems like I always get swept up with the rest of the sweep. You know, back in the old days, and get stopped out. So I started. I mean, supply and demand is the first thing I learned to begin with. So it's kind of hard. You know, I had some really, really good instructors, and they were excellent about explaining it. So I just got super partial to that. And then as I try to go and study and learn all these other different ways of trading, I always find myself back in the arms of supply and demand. But it is kind of cool, though. I know I touched on it last week, kind of playing around with the orb strategy a little bit, just for kicks. You know, just for something to do on the European session since we're on that in the morning. So that's kind of something that I'm working on. Me and Coach Michael actually, just kind of working on that. So we can play around with some other strategies. Well, he's pretty well sticking with his strategy. which he's got an awesome strategy. I love it. But yeah, as far as, me being the higher time frame trader, it's just nice to kind of refresh on some of these smaller time frame type strategies. It's been a pretty good challenge, pretty well embraced. But I did decide, I did figure out yesterday, I'm probably not going to leave any of those trades open while I'm sleeping. I got lucky on Friday. I did have a small winner there, but yesterday I had a very small loss, nothing to sneeze about. But I could see very easily where I would have gotten out, had I been on top of it. So, yeah, I'll just save that for when I'm awake. And regardless of how good or bad something looks, when I go to bed, I'm just going to go ahead and close it out.
Yeah, it's probably for the best, honestly,
Yeah, stick to the higher trades. I can sleep on the higher time frame trades, no problem.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's just one of those things that it's always tough. You got to monitor things, I mean, sometimes it gets a little bit ridiculous where it's just like, man, I got to stop putting on trades and then going to bed, especially when there's a ton of news coming out and there's just massive headline risk. Because then you something happens, your stop loss hit, and then maybe it happened at 2:00 in the morning, and then you wake up come 6 a.m. and it's the market's been normalized, and had you still been in the trade, you'd probably be flat or something. Those are just the worst.
Well, especially
the
on
absolute worst.
Yeah, the orb though. I mean, by the time the lunchtime doldrums rolls around for New York, it's not even worth being in some of these trades anyway. I don't think. Just take it during the overlap, early part of New York. Just get out.
Yeah,
I'm starting to figure out that. Doldrum time, get out time, go to sleep time.
Literally, yeah. It's just one of those things.
Yep.
Let's see. What else do I got here? I mean, the only other stuff that I want to show here is. So, do you have this performance stats area in the GUI trades or whatever?
It doesn't look like that. Yeah. So I got a positions tab, and it shows all my recent trades. I don't think it has a graph like that. I've been playing around with it a little.
I mean, this is
it's
actually
just
pretty
basically
good.
Excel format. But no, I like that.
Yeah.
What you've got.
Yeah. I mean, you can just toggle between, however. I've only had this account for a week, so. I mean, this is it total, and this is one of the direct accounts. So this is the one that we're hoping to finish off tomorrow. So we'll see.
Nice.
But I mean, pretty good.
Sweet.
84% win rate. I mean, that's not bad. Obviously, the equity curve is just ridiculous.
To the moon.
Yeah, I know, right? No, but that's the other thing is that it can't be to the moon because, like I said, it's the consistency rule,
limited,
right? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got to limit it. You got to limit it 100%. So, but I mean, it's crazy in depth, total number of trades. I mean, the least profitable day, most profitable day. Average duration of the winning trades.
Nice. I love that.
Worst trade. Yeah, so this is why, we really like the Project X platform. Again, because you can see a lot of the stats, and as long as you're not totally blowing yourself up, or blowing the account up, it can actually be pretty insightful as to the holding time, the average profit, and stuff like that. Nice little calendar. A lot of different services have this type of stuff, a little calendar, so you can see best days, worst days, all that type of stuff, and then I guess the individual trades. But yeah, that's a pretty nice little feature, and then more within you got the little trader hub, so we get market news and obviously the different economic events. It'd be nice if we could just make it for, we probably can make it for just the United States. Of course, here. It's one thing that I didn't set. Just the US. There we go. So core PCE. Yeah. Nice.
Heck yeah.
GDP numbers.
I'm going to have to get studied up on the nuances of futures so I can add that into my arsenal.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, it can be pretty helpful most of the time. Most of the time, that's for sure.
because I'm loving that. I mean, that all looks super nice.
Yep, totally. But apart
Let's
from
see that.
that, I mean, what do we got? We don't really have much else here. What do you
That's
usually
something
do
I
to
could
pass
ask.
the time when you got nothing? What's up?
I'll see what chat's got. Maybe go into some strategy at times. Talk about the next day's events, or just ask questions. Me and Paul are always asking each other questions on. So one question I have for you that just popped in my head is, as far as you had mentioned earlier, what was the word you said? So like the contract, what did you say? What'd you call it? The contract
Contract
length,
rolling,
contract rolling.
contract
Yeah.
expiration.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Expiration. That's it. So that's something I've always wanted to know. Like, how does that work? Like,
Oh yeah.
I know
So
it's
that's
got different
something that.
tickers and everything, right?
Yeah. So that's actually something that's pretty interesting, and I don't know if it's just nuance to futures contracts, but yeah, every single month, because futures contracts, right? They're products now or priced now for a future date. So
Mm-hmm.
every single different month has its own contract code, and usually what it is like the first two letters or symbols. It's like for silver, right? SI. So silver is the contract, and then there'll be a one digit or one symbol for the month. So like August is like the letter Q, September is the letter U, October is V, November is X, December is Z, zebra, and then it'll be like
Mm-hmm.
25 for to denote like the year of the contract for the expiry.
Okay.
And like like the really soft commodities, which is something that Paul is constantly looking at. Those contracts don't have months for every single month, like the 12 months out of the year. So like those contracts, it's kind of a very weird schedule, and it probably goes back to the 1900s or whenever mainstream exchange futures contracts were created. It's like January, March, April, July, September, December. Like it's just such a weird, um, yeah, such a weird contract structure for the super softs
Mm-hmm.
like corn or like soybeans, stuff like that, or like orange juice, the stuff that he always likes to look at. So
Yeah.
so yeah, and they expire like every 30 days. The ones that are that run on the calendar year essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So yeah, I mean that's kind of one of the weird nuances. So you always have, but it's so weird. Like you always have to watch out for it. Like today, I have this algorithm that trades silver, and it was in a trade earlier today, trading on the September contract for silver, but that contract expires tomorrow. Okay, so there's like no liquidity, first of all, in the contract anymore because all of the traders and trades have now rolled to the December contract for silver. That's why, like on my chart, I was looking, I was like, yeah, SIZ25. So Z denotes December of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, it's just super weird. I totally forgot to change the contract because I have to do it manually on this algorithm. It doesn't
Yeah.
just auto roll. So we got into this trade, took like a moderate loss, um, because the algo didn't roll to the December contract. Once I updated the algo to the December contract, it was like it decided to not even do a trade, which was
Yeah.
disheartening because we were already in a short position. The market's rising, and then I switched the contract, and it's like, yeah, no, don't do anything. And it's like, great. So now I have to book a loss and just say, oops, that was an error because it was happening during a
Yeah.
contract roll and I didn't freaking change a contract. So it's like, it's just these weird nuances that happen
I
with
don't know.
futures contracts. It's kind of the things that I hate. That doesn't happen in Forex.
No, no, no. That's
You
why I
don't have to
say
worry
that's
about
the
any of
biggest.
that.
No. That's
Mhm.
why I say that's the biggest nuance I'd have to learn is all that the contracts and the
Yeah.
rolling over and all that. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, the technicals all probably transferred just nice. I mean, that's the way they taught it to us in our, our trading academy. They say
Yeah.
supply and demand, all these different ways we trade works in all the markets, all the time frames. But yeah, it's the nuances that I'd have to figure out all that. That's probably all I really got to figure out. I mean, I'm sure there's some other things in futures I'd have to learn out, figure out, but
Oh yeah,
no,
sure, right.
I feel like that's a natural segue from currencies. Just jump into that. Got the stocks
Yeah, for
down,
sure.
got the penny stocks down, got the currencies down.
Yeah.
I'm thinking even
Mhm.
currency futures, since I already pay attention to the currencies,
Oh,
the
perfect.
fundamentals, and
Yeah, perfect.
sentiments. So I don't know. I feel like that would probably be my natural segue, just go into the futures.
Yeah, I think that 100%, 100%. I mean, it's just the price is just a little bit different, right? Like when you pull up the two
Right.
different contracts for like the same thing, the price is a little bit different, but they move like in tandem. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean that'd be a great segue if you wanted to actually be trading futures, for sure. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So is that something that you're looking at now because of Hola Prime, or have you been wanting to kind of explore the futures side of things?
I've always kind of wanted to. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
track them on the trading view on my watch list. I've got a special section just for them. So, I mean, I love to kind of reference them from time to time, especially if I'm looking at the Dixie, just the currency index by itself, not the futures index, or not the
Yeah.
currency future, but the currency index. I like to just kind of go and look and see, are we near a supply or a demand zone? If I'm trading dollar Swiss right now, then I
Yeah.
like to go obviously to the dollar index, the Swiss index, and then the dollar futures and the Swiss futures. I just like to see if everything's kind of lining up halfway close. Hey, if I'm trying to shorten this supply zone that I did this morning, am I near a
Yeah.
supply zone on the Swiss index, or am I
Yeah.
near a demand zone on the dollar index? Right. So just trying to look at it on the opposite ends and just kind of get that extra confluence. I don't do it as much as I should, but when I'm really trying to figure out, is my gut telling me yes or no? Well, sometimes I'll go just look for other confluences like that. Hey, where are the supply and demand zones on the indexes and the futures? Just to see
Yeah.
if I can get those
Yeah.
confluences. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, to me, they look like a spitting image of the indexes themselves, as far as the futures, currency futures. I mean, I know they're not 100% the same, but they look same. They look similar. Zooming
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I know. I
So
know. I know. Generally they are. Like I said, like it's not going to be hard for you to kind of just like start looking at the charts and just bringing up the obviously different
mhm.
symbols, and just be like, yeah,
It
it
might
is
even
what it is.
be hell. It might even be easier because in Forex you got to. By the time you figure out one currency, well, now you got to figure out the other currency because they work in
Hmm.
tandem.
Hmm.
So to
Yep.
go down and focus just on one currency, I don't know. Just from a stepping back and thinking, that sounds to me like, dare I say, that would be simpler. I mean, I
Sure.
love I
Yeah. Oh
love
yeah.
Forex. I'll always be married to Forex, but yeah, I'd definitely be interested in dating the individual currencies by themselves. See how easy that is. Or simple. There,
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
no
I know.
the
I
word
know.
does not exist in trading. But just what I mean is just from a fundamental perspective, just focus on one currency rather than both currencies. That's always the
Yeah.
trick. I mean, you might nail
Yeah.
on Forex, you might nail one of the currencies perfectly, but if the other currency has got a tweet, or the Swiss National Bank is depegging from the US dollar, right? When they did that in 2015, or just little things like that. Now you got two markets that you got to watch at the same time when you're making a buy or sell
Yeah.
decision. So, um, but I like it. I'm used to it now. I couldn't imagine going down to futures. Just, you mean I don't have to worry about the dollar? You mean I don't have to worry about the Swiss franc? I can focus on one?
Yeah. I know. I only have to focus on one thing. Are you kidding me?
Hey,
That makes my life
yeah,
it's insanely easy now.
yeah. I mean, thank God I got the algorithm because it puts everything into perspective and it feels a lot
Yeah,
simpler.
I know. I was gonna say, like, what did you used to do before you had that thing made?
So So they taught us all about Forex Factory and similar sites to look at our calendar of events for each day. And I used to just focus on the one in front of me. And by the time today's event finished, another day or two comes around, we get another event come out. Okay, now I'm focused on that, but I forgot what happened 2 days ago. So I just
Yeah.
never really looked at everything as a collective whole. I just looked at each individual report like it was the gospel, because that was the one that was happening today, right? If it's a hot report, I want to buy. If it's a weak report, I want to sell. Well, if I'm buying into a hot report, forgetting that the previous three markets missed their expectations, well, we're still net bearish because all the other reports have been going downhill, underperformance of the economic heat map. So I just never really looked at everything as a collective whole, but now I do because I have an algorithm that puts all that into perspective. And now I'm not having to go back on the calendar to go sift and sort through the previous weeks, previous months for those previous reports and kind of write them all down like I did there for a while. I was actually putting them all in an Excel spreadsheet, just kind of going back, spending a ton of time copying and pasting. Okay, this report missed. This report was hot. Just kind of adding it up manually. Like that's what I was doing for a while. But before that, Tony, I wasn't even doing that. I was just mainly just looking at the technicals only, the charts only, just like a lot of people do. And I was still making it work pretty decent. I mean, I never blew any accounts. I just never made any money either. But I think in a funny way that all the time I spent on the technical analysis, I now see as one of the least important things because, I mean, I've said it before. I've never heard anybody on TV, CNBC, any of the financial stations talking about supply and demand zones. I've never heard them talking about head and shoulders patterns or whatever engulfing bullish candles, any of that. It's always the NFP report came out, this number. The CPI number was hot. The retail sales number is disappointed. Like that's what we hear about. So it just took me a while to kind of wrap my brain around the fact of that's what's important. I gave in this whole time to the bright, shiny toy, which is the next indicator, the $1 million indicator, right? That's going to help you make all the money in the world, just like we all do early on. Even though I had been taught to do that, to focus on the fundamentals in my classes, but I just got caught up in the bright, shiny toys, the visuals. I hated math. I did disgusting in algebra class growing up and some of those math classes, but for whatever reason, I loved geometry and I had an A+. That was the only math class I ever did good at. So to me, charting is just geometry. And Coach Richard on our morning stream, that's his trading style. He calls it market geometry. So I just got fixated on the visuals because I'm a visual person, never cared that much for the data, but now that I have something that puts it all into focus in a one pager, like I just showed earlier at the start of the stream, that makes it fun now because now I can just go study just the basics of what each of those reports do. I don't have to become an economist, right? People ask me that every now and then, well, what's your opinion on this and this and this and this? Well, I don't know. I'm not an economist. I care about price action. What's going to lead to price action? Well, having as many of those bullish items in your favor or bearish items, depending on which bias it's giving me in your favor, and then just go time the trade on the chart. So, but yeah, I was kind of a rudderless ship there the first half of my trading career.
I know, but it's just kind of like that's the education sometimes is that you just got to kind of go through it and, the baptism by fire type thing.
And I'm glad I did it that way. I'm glad I did it that way because I'm glad I spent all that time studying all the technicals because now that it's second nature, it just makes the decision-making process so much simpler. Get the basic direction from the fundamentals and then just go time it on a chart. I mean, that's as simple as I can break it down. But I am glad I spent all that time on what I look at now as maybe the least important part. Because I look at it as it helps me filter out the bad supply and demand zones. I mean, looking at things like the effort versus result. Is it matched and is it not? Am I getting a VWAP bounce? Am I getting the bullish engulfing? I mean, all those things, essentially, I look at it now as I'm glad I studied all that time on that because now it's helping me filter out the crap, basically.
Yeah, I know. It's literally just that. It's helping you filter out all the bad trades and the bad noise of the market,
Yeah. it doesn't help me get in a trade. It helps me stay out of bad trades. That's kind of the way I look at it. And because,
Yeah.
I mean, before I knew what the difference was between an institutional supply and demand zone and a retail supply and demand zone, I was just taking everything that had a pulse, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I know, literally.
where's the nearest zone I can go hop on? Wasn't even so much paying attention to the trend a lot of the times early on either. Just, oh, I'm closer to a supply, I'm gonna go sell. Oh, I'm closer to demand, I'm gonna go buy. And then I get so frustrated, like, why the hell ain't this working? Well, you dummy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're going counter. You're buying high on the curve. You're buying expensive crab legs, or you're selling low on the curve. You're selling at the cheapest price possible, whatever the case is. And you're not getting that. You're not getting those reversal signals. So it's just kind of cool when you finally get to a point to where, not saying I've made it by any means, because I still screw up now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
so
I know, it's funny. It's that.
It's so nice to kind of have all those basic puzzle pieces out of the way to where now it takes me 2 seconds to look at a chart after my fundamentals and my sentiment analysis and say, okay, buy or sell, yes or no. It takes like 2 seconds.
Yes, sir.
That made that 10 years of study worth it. Every hour I spent on that, personally.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, I agree 100% with you. Yeah, I mean, you really can't go back in time, because then you got to thank all the little mistakes, right, that you made in order to get to here, right, for sure. And that's the biggest thing. Wouldn't have done it any other way. I'm in the same boat as you.
Yep, 100% agree.
Yep.
Just like somebody becoming a doctor, they got to go through their 8-10 years of residency and clinicals and this and that and the other, the education, before they ever get to cut somebody open, right? It's kind of a similar thing, a similar trajectory with trading.
Yeah. I mean, it's all for good reason, right? I mean, you got to be ready, because when the crap hits the fan, you're going to be totally freaking out, and you can't have that. You got to be cool as a cucumber, for sure.
Yeah. No, that is totally right. Well, let me see here. Let me see. We're in the Asian session. I wonder what Aussie dollar is doing. Aussie dollar. Yeah. Pretty sure that I don't really have another play right now. Yeah, I mean, I've been looking at some of these other zones off screen here, but yeah, I think the most important thing for me is just to continue to monitor my short sell. By the way, I did get to the point. Back end, if you don't mind, let's flip back over to me for a minute, because I do finally have a spot where I can move my stop loss. Yeah. So, we finally did break below this little former support. Did have a candle close here. It's on a 15-minute time frame, getting down into smaller time frames, but that makes me feel a lot better now about moving my stop loss down to this swing high point. We'll modify that.
Perfect.
So I went through, and I'm to the point now to where I'm feeling comfortable with this platform. I'm going to start increasing my risk from now on, because I've just been starting off at some of the lower price points, just getting used to this this platform, because I made a few mistakes early on and had a couple big losses, all because I was messing up
I was the same way. I would like right click or accidentally click, or I'd have something set in one area and then it would execute on another chart into another account. It's like, yeah, you got to learn the platform, right? You got to learn the tools that you're using here.
Yeah, I mean, I did have a miserable last few trades, but I mean, everything was kind of looking good there for a while. But down in here, I made a couple mistakes, like minus 658, minus 250.
Yeah,
I didn't know what Yeah, so after that, you can start to see where I started to figure it out a little bit as far as the platform.
Absolutely.
Started seeing a little more green on there. But anyway, it's funny. I've been, I'm a currency trader by heart, but what have I been trading most on the last couple months? Gold. I mean,
Wow.
it's been
Yeah.
mostly gold. Gold's been about 50% of my trades lately, just because of
Yeah.
kind of like what you said earlier, like a lot of sideways action. Kind of a lot of the fundamentals have been kind of sideways on a lot of these forex pairs. Obviously, gold and silver been just going crazy, since Liberation Day, but obviously smoothed out of late. But yeah, I've just been getting a lot of gold trades. That's been the main thing I've been after. Main thing I've been trading. I guess it is starting
Yeah.
to look
Yeah.
better over the last 10 days or 8 days. Well, let me see here. Yeah, it's a little too much congestion. So I'm gonna stick to that 30-minute demand down here on gold, silver. Maybe when the European session opens, if we can start to get some volatility, I might try to get into some maybe 15-minute trades, 15-minute demand. Yeah. See, there's a demand, but no volume, obviously. Sometimes these metals, sometimes crypto has some pretty good volume in these after hours, but sometimes not. So I just tend to avoid a lot of them. Just kind of wait for the European session and manage my New York trades. But yeah, that looks like a nice demand right there. But again, there's just no volume, so not really excited about it. I do like this candle though, 30-minute on the ZAG USD, the ZAG nut. Yeah, let's go I need to go wrap a rectangle around that. That's a nice volume underneath. Put me an alert just ahead of it, ahead of the proximal line. Throw it out for the end of the week, trading week. All right, so that's
Oh,
my
you actually set
new.
expiries on the alerts?
Yeah, so I just upgraded my Trading View account the other day,
Mm-hmm.
so now I've got a lot more alerts. And when I did that, well, that's the thing. I don't have to do that anymore. But prior to Thursday or Wednesday, whenever it was, I upgraded. Yeah, it only allowed you to put alerts out for like a month or so. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I can essentially, I think. Yeah, see, I think that's what. Oh, wait a second. What does this mean? Oh, maybe that's the higher up account, the higher up package. But either way, yeah, expiration, and then you can go out. So what is this? August, September. So it looks like you can go out about 2 months. You can put an alert as far out as 2 months, but I don't ever do that. I like to leave my alerts literally just week to week, because part of my Sunday analysis is going through the alerts, whether they hit or not through the week, and just kind of analyze what happened. Did price hit? Did they not? What happened when price did hit? Did we get the bounce like my zones likes to see? And then obviously just kind of delete them. So I tend to just kind of leave them all up. Well, not all of them. I'll leave them up there like for the day, and then I'll come in tonight after our stream is over, and I'll actually go and clean these up, the ones that triggered or maybe the ones that expired. I'll clean these up and just prep for Forex Fire for some new alerts. Maybe I'll find some other alerts like during this session or just thereafter, but I'll just clean up the old ones. I just like to look at it like each day, and especially at the end of the week, just so I can reset and refresh, put in new alerts. Maybe maybe price is now way too far away from an alert to where I'm not interested in it because it's not an immediate alert. Like it's like price ain't going to get there anytime soon. So I don't want to overwhelm myself with alerts, but I also want to be able to
Yeah,
review
sure.
those alerts at the same time. So kind of a long-winded
How
answer, but
how many can you do now? I mean, it's obviously good, right? Because you need to be able to cancel them off so that you can keep
yeah.
on creating them, right?
So I did have the lowest package, which was 20. And now that I upgraded to the next package higher, it's up to 100. So now I've got
Yeah.
100 alerts. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I've got the ability now because I did have just the ability to do, two windows, but now I can do 4. And I like this because this actually helped me on that ORB trade I got in the other day. I think it was, no, it wasn't that one. It was another one. One of my other profits I had last week. Like, it's just nice because, like, you know, I'll go down to a 1 minute over here, maybe a 5 minute over here, maybe a 15 over here. And I just like to look, okay, I don't want to get too excited, maybe an hour over here. I don't want to get too excited about a 1 minute candle. So if I see something where I think I want to get in a trade, let's go verify it with the 5 minute. What's it look like on the 5 minute time frame? Okay, does that still look good enough to buy or sell? Let's go verify it with a 15. So I like, and I'm still playing around with this to see if it's even going to be beneficial or not. But I feel like it did help me last week when I tested it once or twice, just to keep things into perspective and look at the higher time frames and quit getting so fixated on a smaller time frame. Because I am getting back into these smaller time frames. Because prior to coming here to Hola Prime, I was sticking primarily to my 4 hour supply and demand zones. Temporary, once in a while, come down to a 1 hour. But obviously, I want to be able to trade more and share more examples with the chat and everybody else. So, kind of coming down to the scalpy and the 5s and the 15-minute time frames. Everything translates. It's just that it's been like a long time since I was trading down in these smaller time frames. I just got to get back comfortable with the nuances of the smaller time frames and liquidity and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. Always, you got to give yourself a little bit of leeway, compared to literally the longer time frame. I mean, it's just
hence a lot of these red losses that you see on here. Just getting back used to these smaller time frames. But like my regular account I have that I had before I was starting with Hola Prime, I mean, that was strictly a 4 hour chart, 4 hour supply and demand zones. And my equity curve just been going up and up and up. So just coming and kind of adding in the smaller time frames again. It's nice to have this separate platform, obviously, to keep it all over there. But yeah, I mean, I'll still keep an eye on the 4 hour time frames, on the Hola Prime charts. And in instances like today, got into that dollar Swiss and it was so good. Moved it over to my other brokerage as well. I mean, that was a 1 hour zone, I guess I used. Point is, if I like it good enough over here, I'll push it over to the other one. My actual
absolutely
250K challenge account I've got elsewhere. So
nice.
But I'm serious though. I do want to. That's probably going to be my project though next week. In all seriousness, I'll probably just go ahead and get on there and play around with and open up a Forex account with Hola Prime because I got to be my best customer.
Yeah, I know. I hear it. See, that was kind of my methodology as well. Is that like, most transparent prop firm? It's like, like I'll show people. I'll show them. They want to see the stats. They want to see, how it is trying to get a payout. I mean, it's hard for sure, but why not? Right? Make some more content for the stream. So we'll
give yourself a reputation to uphold. Right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I liked it when we were on the other accounts, just like the practice accounts, because then screw it, 10 grand, 5 grand, whatever. Is what it is. Or I mean, I could switch to the cash account, do something similar, but it's not on the Project X platform, so it is what it is.
Right.
Yeah. No, but it's cool. It's cool. It's good. And then hopefully, we actually start to see like what a trading journey actually looks like with a prop firm. And Hola Prime is where we've made our home, and it's kind of the firm that I want to go with for now. And should be good.
I mean, looking at the rules, I've seen the same rules, but in a worse way on all the other trading platforms. Like, they're not doing anything that's any crazier than anybody else, but just to have the 1 hour payout, man, that was one of the first things that when I first saw the company, I'm like, oh, come on now, that ain't real. That can't be real.
Yeah, I know. I said the same thing. I was like, is this ridiculous? Like, because I know the, same day payout, but it's like, it takes like end of day, like end of business, they'll send you your payout and it doesn't actually hit your account till the next day. So it's like, okay, whatever. It's a gimmick. But
Yeah.
yeah, like 1 hour payout. And actually, I got my younger brother actually just got his payout today. Um,
Oh, nice.
he's done a couple accounts with Ola Prime, a couple. So that means that he's blown
Nice.
a
Yeah.
couple of them as
Yeah.
well. So
What's your
yeah,
rite of
he actually
passage,
just got his first payout. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You
It's
got to
the
blow an
education
account
that
to
you're
be.
paying for.
You can't be a trader if you haven't blown at least one account.
I know. That's the law, and it's verified. So yeah,
Required to learn.
no, actually, literally the payout was in like 20 minutes. Like it was. He's like, yeah, it was
Yeah,
actually better than
that's
an
awesome.
hour, and I was like, that's great. That's awesome. Come again soon.
Yeah. So my dollar Swiss is obviously still creeping up on my profit here. So
Mhm.
I may, once we get a little closer, I'm just going to start, treating it like a carrot on a string on a stick, right? I'm just going to keep pushing it
Yeah,
further out in front of the donkey, right? So he can keep walking towards it. So that's essentially what I'm going to do. We get down in this area. Yeah, I'll be bringing my stop down here and just slowly keeping it pinned in so we can see if we can just keep pushing it down like that and trail behind. So that's basically. But right now we're butting up against this demand candle here. What I kind of see as a demand zone. I mean, I'm not too
yeah.
interested in the wick as I am the body. But yeah, where's my tool at? 954. Holy cow. Let me see here. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw this up just so that I have it as a visual. But yeah, that's essentially a demand. And then you got a little bit of a swing low. So I'm interested, obviously, to see what happens when price gets in there. If price bounces in and I start getting volume bars double or even triple the more recent ones, then I'll probably just go ahead and just suffocate it with the stop loss and lock in all that gain. If it starts
Yeah.
going into that zone and I don't see any volume, any excitement, okay, that might make me feel better about it chewing through that zone and continuing below this low point. So if that's the case, then I'll definitely be pushing my take profit further down, and just ride this sucker as long as I can. Just let the winners win, or let the runners run, right?
Yeah,
Don't limit
well,
it.
let the winners run. Absolutely. You got to let it. You got to let it because you're going to need it, right?
Yeah, to cover some future losses, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're always
But just
inevitable.
yeah, looking below that point though, what else potential challenges do I have to possibly face? Well, we got maybe that. I probably just look at. I mean, I don't really call that a super strong demand area, but we'll go ahead and wrap a rectangle out of it, nevertheless, and move it forward. Maybe we could get some bounce there potentially. Let me see. I mean, definitely in this area, former sideways garbage price action. So that's really, I guess, the further down potential, support area / demand. So that's what I'm left with now. If we break through this candle, I'll essentially just move my take profit just ahead of that area right there. That's what I'll be looking to do. And then same thing. At that point, I might give my stop loss maybe a little more wiggle room if we close down here. Maybe I'll just leave my
Yeah.
stop loss up here, something like that. So I got some options here. This is the part of the thinking of a trade management. That's the fun part, right? Just deciding, trying to figure out how much of your profits you want to lock in. So,
Honestly.
so yeah, no matter what happens though, it's going to be a profitable birthday. So pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I know. You got to be happy with it, right? You take the small wins. Absolutely. I
Absolutely.
mean, they're not so small because they definitely add up.
Yeah. Yeah. And my other account right now is at 1,627 unrealized.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
So yeah, higher account. So little more reward
A
on
little
it.
more risk on.
Yeah. Yeah. This was 100K account, obviously 800 down or 7, whatever, but I'll definitely be making a nice chunk of that back. So maybe a couple profitable trades after this, get closer back to 100K. Now that I've gotten all the screw ups out of the way at the start, then I'll start increasing my risk on this one. That way it starts to look nice like you guys' trades, your 1K, 3K days, right?
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's just, it's all about leverage. I mean, really, if you know if it's all about leverage, and then if you know what you're doing, then I guess you can, prove it to yourself that you can handle it. But other than that, I mean, there's really not much else to it, my friend.
Yeah. I just got really good about just betting small amounts. I mean, early on, I was wagering stupid amounts because I didn't have a brokerage like the Hola Prime account that calculates your trade for you, calculates your exact amount you're going to lose, exact amount you're going to win, and right.
Yeah,
I didn't have that, so I was betting blind. I was probably betting 3, 4, 5% of my account on all my trades. Early on, I just was only going by the lot, the micro, what the hell is it called? Well, 100,000 increments in currencies. You bet by 100,000 increments. So I just was throwing numbers out there blindly, and I don't know how the hell I held on to that account as long as I did. It was a $2,000 account, and it took me about 5 years, 6 years to trash. So I should have blown that damn thing in 90 days. I should have become the normal stat, but somehow or another, I drug it out. But either way, I love this account. Yeah. Calculates everything, so I can't wait to get that new Hola Prime account. So that's about it, my friend. Any parting thoughts before we skip
I guess
out
that does it. No, I mean, I think that does it for us today. Definitely tune in tomorrow because, hopefully we'll get some much needed shut eye and then make some profitable trades. We'll see.
That's right. Look forward to it, brother. Well, appreciate you.
Same. Absolutely.
Chat.
Same here.
We'll see you guys in the morning. Forex Fire starts in 5 hours. So come see me.
Heck yeah.
We'll talk to you then.
Get ready.
All right. Have a good one.
Hola Prime. Trade with transparency.